Welcome, viewer number 69420. Stand by to receive your allotted tech news ration. Complaints can be registered with ya f***ing mom dispensing. The lid has popped off the first Zen 4 reviews as the AMD embargo lifted this morning, along with our spirits. Love you, AMD. So far, impressions have been mostly positive. There's a clear generational performance leap over Zen 3, both in terms of absolute performance and power efficiency. But at the same time, Ryzen 7000 is not being hailed as a must go out and buy right now kind of chip lineup, unlike Ruffles collab with KFC.
It's fried chicken flavor.
Lose your mind. These processors are still relatively expensive. The performance gains are more pronounced in multi-core applications rather than in games, and Intel's next generation of CPUs are just around the bend, meaning it may be good to wait until AMD refreshes the Zen 4 series with 3D VNAND variants.
Ooh.
But whether you're going out to drop your money on a new CPU right away or not, it's good to see Team Red and Team Blue continuing to put pressure on each other, because that's how they show love. It's a weird relationship, but it makes diamonds.
Not healthy.
No one can argue Amazon Prime delivery isn't convenient, but you may want to pay a little extra attention next time you see one of their big bluish trucks on the road. A recent investigation from the Wall Street Journal, of all places, discovered more than 75 people have been killed due to accidents involving trucking companies that were transporting products for Amazon. This number might not be very telling on its own. Traffic accidents are not exactly rare, but what is telling is the fact that the trucking companies Amazon chose to contract received unsafe driving scores from the Department of Transportation more than twice as often as similar trucking companies. Also, the scenes of the crash had pee bottles bouncing all over the road. Just joking, I made that part up. Amazon, of course, disputed the report, saying it suspends any contractors that fall below its safety standards, and that their fatality rate was below the industry average. Whatever the truth is, it sure would be nice to get deliveries from drones weighing a few pounds rather than a 40-ton big rig, at least until we get the 40-ton drones going. And then they just really like, oh, one-day elephant delivery, boom! And James Earl Jones, perhaps best known as the voice of Darth Vader and the second coolest James that you ever have heard, is retiring at 91 years young. But thanks to AI content generation technology, his voice will live on far into the future. I mean, we actually had that just from cassette tape technology. I have the original trilogy. Far into the future, perhaps long enough for there to finally be a retcon of the sequels.
Get rid of them.
A Ukrainian AI startup called Respeecher is using its own algorithm to recreate voices and speech patterns, and James Earl Jones himself signed off on Disney and Respeecher working together to keep Darth Vader's iconic deep voice alive for future films and video games and sex doll. Probably didn't sign off on that.
Please.
AI voice models have been used to supplement actors' performances before, but this may be the first time an actor has been permanently replaced by a dang computer.
And not the last. TechLink next.
Hopefully the AI version of Vader will be realistic enough to make you forget that many of the truths we cling to depend greatly on our own point of view.
That's not even a Vader quote. John put that. What?
The tree is burning, Riley. It's time for the Quick Bits, brought to you by iFixit, maker of compact toolkits with all the essential bits you need to fix your electronics. Quick Bits are not essential, actually.
No.
From mini kits with 16 bits to full repair tool kits to start your repair business, iFixit has you covered. Use iFixit's over 70,000 repair manuals with photos and step-by-step instructions. Work worry-free, knowing that you've got quality parts backed by iFixit's lifetime warranty. Fix your stuff today with iFixit and get 20% off iPhone and Pixel parts this month at ifixit.com/techlinked. Millennia ago, the first Quick Bits fell from the sky. Magnuk said it was crazy. I don't get how to deliver this.
Magnuk, you did it great.
Here's some good news. A new leak suggests Apple will be ditching that clumsy Pro Max branding for its next generation of iPhones, thank God. So the highest end device will simply be called the iPhone 15 Ultra. But the even bigger news is that we finally might be getting USB-C. Europe, you can be pretty weird sometimes, but for this, what do they say over there? Merci. Netflix is getting even more serious about games with the announcement that they're forming their own first-party gaming studio. Although the company has bought game studios in the past, this one will be started from scratch. No recipe. You just spit in the bowl and stir it around. They're doing it live. The new studio will be based in Helsinki and led by the former GM of Zynga, so get ready for more Netflix games you can continue to safely ignore.
Oh!
They're finished! See what I did there? Helsinki.
Yeah.
You probably already know that EVGA is exiting the graphics card market, but what about its Kingpin enthusiast brand, huh? Well, Kingpin is actually an overclocker who has worked with the EVGA for many years, and he hinted on social media that he's potentially open to working with other AIB partners. So maybe we'll see high-end Kingpin branded cards from Gigabyte, MSI, Asus, or Zotac in the future, right before they also drop NVIDIA. Honestly, if Kingpin's associated with EVGA, they'd probably just make a new brand. I don't know. I doubt it. Sorry, Kingpin.
Kingpin Inc. Kingpin.
E3 is returning to Los Angeles next year after last year's show was outright canceled. Like you, Riley, you're toxic.
No!
Although there will be a heavy tech industry and media presence there as usual, they will be doing a couple of days where the public will be welcome, especially June 15 and 16th, which E3 is referring to as Gamer Days! You'll have to answer questions to prove you're a true gamer, who would ever do that, to get in, but we'll give you one answer for free. There is more than one Final Fantasy.
What?
I know, it doesn't make sense.
It's the last one.
And we already have a packaging leak for the upcoming Core i9-13900K. Intel usually does premium packaging for its top-end consumer chips, and this is no exception, as it includes a collectible plastic silicon wafer, though this time the wafer is silver rather than gold. Still looks nice, but I hope Team Blue isn't subtly trying to get us to lower our expectations.
You're on the
Because I'm high maintenance.
You're lower on the podium.
Tech News has now finished dispensing. Return on Wednesday for additional rations. And do not make eye contact! Look right here beside my head.